morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I would like to share with you a brand new online exclusive suite called the Otterly Adorable Suite. And you know, if you've been watching, I'm a bit of a sucker for cute critters. Stampin' Up! Has come out with this suite featuring, I am thinking it's river otters, because this looks much more like river than ocean. Sea otters, although I suppose these could be sea otters. Anyway, fun designer series paper on theme. On one side, very much on theme with the otters on one side. I really like this one. Good. Hello, Gladys and Paula. Thanks for joining me. I made, there's two sheets of each design. I may take this one and put a little bit of embellishment on it and put it in a 12 by 12 frame and give it to my offspring for Christmas, because they really like otters and cute critters. So that might be, as soon as I saw that sheet, I thought, ooh, that might be. And there's that one, more otters, lots of otters. Otter. And then there's some, I want to call it greenery, but I suppose it's not really, most of it's not green, it's blue or blue-green. I don't know, in Japan, blue and green are kind of the same. And then on the reverse side, this could be water, but it's much more neutral. And there's gray, that could be rocks. That's balmy blue water. This is Lost Lagoon water. Pebbles. And more underwater greenery and fish. And then just lots of fish. So that's the paper. And there are stamps that have a lot of very similar, if not the same, images as several on this paper. A couple of sentiments. We're cute together. Love you lots. You're utterly amazing. Some fish, some air bubbles or water bubbles, and more plants. And then there are coordinating dies. Again, all of these otters have coordinating dies. There are fish dies, but those don't coordinate with that image. There's a log that also embosses some texture. This, I assume, is to make like a riverway or a water flume that your otter could be sliding down. Rocks, bubbles, and more plants. And then for embellishments, they have this Lost Lagoon soft cording and these cute, they call them Riverside Irregular Pearls, and they're very iridescent. So that is the suite, and I jumped in and bought the whole thing because it's my colors, Lost Lagoon, love that, cute critters, what's not to like, right? So let me set that aside and let me show you the card I'm going to demonstrate for you today. This is a diorama card, and you can see it stands up like that. And it's actually a very simple fun fold. It goes flat to go into your envelope with no problem. And then it just pops up. And I will show you how to make it. Oh, and on the back I've put a place to write. So these are not new. I have made these before, but I just thought this was the perfect suite to do this with. Okay, let me let Noah out. He was happily under my desk, and now he says, nope, door closed, I need out. There you go. Might be missing something somewhere else in the house, even though everyone's just being quiet. Okay, so what you need is half a sheet of cardstock, and I will, in my blog post, I will have the measurements for both A4 cardstock and letter cardstock, so you don't need to scramble to write this down. So half a sheet of cardstock, and then cut it into quarters. If you want to, when you're making these cards, your front and your back can be different colors. Sometimes that's a neat thing to do depending on what your design actually is. And then you're going to score twice on each side. And in fact, before I cut it, I could have done it. But again, these measurements for scoring, I will have those in the blog post too. And you can vary these depending on what you're doing, how big you want it. I like to make my card space kind of as big as possible, so I do what I think is kind of the bare minimum for my scores. And here we go. One more set. Do make sure you are scoring and not cutting. So, yep, there is that. And then bring in your bone folder, and we're just gonna go ahead and fold and burnish on those score lines. On both sets. Try to make sure that you guys, that I'm in frame for you guys. Oh, I'm glad you like the card, guys. Okay, so there are those. And then we're going to take a piece of designer series paper and bring in the whole sheet again for a moment. So when I did this one, I pretty deliberately cut out to try to get that scene. I'm not 100% happy with it, but it works. And then from what I had left, this corner, I cut that to fit in here. And I think that could be a good scene. Just trying to sort of get a visualization of it here. But if I wanted to be really picky, I would work with this one again. And this is the piece for the back. And so I know that's as high as I want it. That's as tall as I want it. So what I would probably do is come in here and I just make a tick mark, the top and the bottom there. I'm going to try that. Does this make the... This is not the most frugal way to use your designer series paper because you're trimming off. Like, that's... I'm going to trash that. Or recycle, if you will. But that's kind of maximizing my optimizing my pattern. This one is more maximizing my designer series paper. And I will make another one with this because I do think that one's cute, but I wanted to try getting it kind of like that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And at this point, both pieces of Lost Lagoon are identical, so it doesn't matter which one I put it on. There we go. Now, I'm going to do one more alteration, I think. This is the circle I used on this one, because I tried to get as much as I could of the back showing. Now I'm going to play for just a minute here with going down one size and moving it up just a bit. I'm going to try that, and I'll show you why. Okay, that back on. Trying to get it centered left to right, but up a little higher. I'm going to bring in my Post-it tape. And my Post-it tape always looks a little bit manky, I called it, because I tap it against my jeans just to pick up a little lint, make it a little less sticky so it doesn't stick to my cardstock with the pressure of this. So it doesn't stick much. There we go. 1, 2. Now this will go into my Lost Lagoon scrap folder. Move that for a second, because I want to show you what I've done here. So with this being higher, see, this is higher up on the paper, and this will give me more room to put my cutouts. And it being smaller is just fine. You can still see everything you want to see. So that's why I did that. Now I'm going to bring this back in because I really like the so swirly texture on there. It really makes it look like water. So we're going to add that. And to do that, this is a regular thickness of embossing folder, not 3D. So I need to remove that plate. And we will put this in the folder. You definitely want to cut first. And then emboss. Because if you put it through, if you emboss first and then put it through again, the embossing is going to get smushed. So cut first, then emboss. Put that back there. Okay. So then we need to come back and refold those. There we go. Now you can see how that's going to go on there. So I'm going to do this bit. Make sure I get it oriented the right way. It's easier. It's not impossible, but it is a little bit easier to stick on before we assemble the whole thing. So let's go ahead and stamp the sentiment. And I chose Pecan Pie ink. You could definitely do black, but Pecan Pie and Early Espresso are the colors used in the otters. So I thought that'd be cool. Stick that on there. Ugh. Let's get it straight. There we go. Okay, and I am going to use tear and tape on these flaps. You can use glue, not an issue. Today I'm really liking the tear and tape for this. And I want to remember I want this thicker bar down here at this end. So now I'm just going to line up my edges. Oh, really? Come on. Oh, that's so annoying. There we go. Go. And there it is, able to stand. And now we just need to decorate. So I have snipped out from a piece of the Designer Series paper these 3 otters that have coordinating dies. There are a lot of otters that you can fussy cut or put on your e-cutter. This is the only page that has them ready to go with the dies. Which is fine. It's fine, fine, all fine. Where is my... There we go. That goes underneath. That one. And let's get these 2. There's the little one, the baby. back on the magnet sheet so I don't lose them. There we go. So there are our 3 otters. And I was a little concerned that the background on these are balmy blue and the card is Lost Lagoon, but really by the time you put them on, it's all good. Yeah, I like having more space down here. Okay, so these I put on, I just used a little bit of glue. And you can smush it because it is smishable. Get him on there, her. Okay, there are those guys. And then that's already on the back. The last thing I did was I added some of these river rocks. And I know otters hold rocks on their bellies and smash food on it to open it up. So I put a couple there. And then, oops, sorry, a couple in there. Big one. Maybe there. I don't know. That's 5. That's an odd number. And I think that's another one done. So there's 1 and 2, very similar, but slight differences. I don't know that one's necessarily better than the other, but there we go. And that's what I've got for you today. I will be back same time, same place next week. If you have any questions or you want to be sure to go to the blog post for this, blog post will be at nancysniftynotes.com. You can reach out and ask me questions, Nancy at nancysniftynotes.com. If you're in Australia and you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be happy to fulfill that role for you. If you are somewhere else in the world and you need a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be happy to direct you to somebody that I know in your market. So please do reach out anytime, and I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.